Here we go. This is my attempt at doing some recording of games, playing them, and maybe talking about some philosophical stuff. Some of it may veer towards literary stuff. I'm not too concerned. Especially now, I'm working on something that has to do with a book, and so I'll talk about that here in a bit. But let's give this a try. If I can remember how to play it. Oh, yeah, play. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay at this game. If I can remember. Maybe I'm terrible at it. I don't know. I haven't played it much lately, but I figured it would be a good start. Sorry about the clearing my voice. Let's see if I can... Nope. So, just me wandering around. I am a graduate student, and I'm working on my dissertation, largely interested in ethics, moral emotions, very specifically about forgiveness. And my interest in forgiveness has led me more recently to talk about empathy. And so I'm currently reading a book called The Face of Another by Kluwer Academic, which is, as I said, that's a literature thing. It's a book. And I'm actually, one of my undergraduate degrees was in Japanese, and my other undergraduate degree was in comparative literature. So I do have a literature background. I haven't used it much lately, but I'm kind of bringing that back because there's a call for papers coming up next week. And they want people to talk about how empathy, whatever kind of theory of empathy you might have, can influence creativity in, empathy in literature. I think they're being fairly open with what sort of source this idea of empathy comes from. But I was thinking I could look at the... oh crap, I always forget about this. Let's see, can we make a torch? Yes, we can. Okay, build, and don't use it yet. Yeah, okay. So The Face of Another is a Japanese book by an author named Kluwer, and it's about a man who loses his face in a chemistry experiment that he's they don't, so far at least they haven't gone into how this happened, what kind of situation he was in that brought it about, but I'm not sure that matters. In any case, he gets a whole bunch of chemical burns on his face that make him very unsightly, and so he's basically, from that point on, has to wear a mask of bandages in this to start out with, and then later on a different mask. But we'll talk about that in a second. But he talks a lot about how much is the face, how important is the face to our understanding of ourselves, obviously of others. And this kind of connected me to the stuff that I've been working on, which is in empathy. There's a theory by Stein that empathy is not only how we can guess the attitudes, the feelings, the basic feeling, I already said that, the feelings of others, and where am I going with this? So, connecting... Oh, and it's not only that, it's also our understanding of ourselves. For example, I mean, the the real helpful example is in memory. If we want to remember how we felt at a certain time, we aren't going to just feel it, we're going to kind of empathize with ourselves at that time. We were a different person then, just like the person in front of me who I'm supposedly empathizing with is a different person. And so, here we go. Oh. Okay, good. I'm using Stein link, and so I may get some burps here and there, but oh yeah, that's right. The first night's not so bad. Because it's almost summer, right? Or it's the beginning of spring. So... Oh, I need to eat, too. This game's hard enough without talking about something in the background. But, in any case, I'm not really sure where I'm going with my thoughts on this subject. But, it relates to another thing that I've been doing, which is, like I said, forgiveness. And my idea about forgiveness that might be a little different from other folks' ideas is that it's something that is experienced. It's a moral experience that we don't that we feel first in the presence of the other, or actually maybe I'm leaning towards with some kind of empathy for the other. So whatever that means. I think that I just thought of this actually, that it's very possible that we could replace this idea of presence that is something that I get from Emmanuel Levinas. His ethics is based on the idea of presence, and that we need, in a lot of ways, we need to be in the presence of the other in order to communicate with them and thus to have some kind of connection that, that's a terrible way to put it. I'm always pretty bad at explaining Levinas, but in any case, let's just leave it at he talks about presence a lot. And now I'm beginning to think, one of my ideas while reading this book was we feel empathy for the characters in literature, and yet I've never been in the presence of the main character in Face of Another. I've never been in the presence of Frodo. I've never been in the presence of the Quizir Hatterach, or whatever he is in Dune. And yet, well, I don't know about the Dune Messiah, but other folks I have some empathy for, and often I almost feel like I'm them, except I'm not. But the main point here is we aren't present. It's the old argument that Derrida had with Levinas that actually it's not that presence comes first, and actually the very fact that we have writing, that we have that we have this capacity for empathy, even of people that we can't see, that we aren't present to, that makes storytelling possible. That also might make it possible for us to possibly go beyond just the presence of a person. Whether, Levinas would probably say that the presence over a phone, maybe even a Zoom call would be enough. But I think it's much more subtle than that. In any case, I am looking at forgiveness from a personal view that then opens up on a political view. So the personal view, should have cooked that, huh? the personal view is, I think, necessary first, I guess is the way I should put it, and then we can get some kind of political forgiveness where we actually go out and, change the rules of what happened in a particular situation. So the idea of forgiveness that I'm working with is from Hannah Arendt, where we always create through our action a new possibility of worlds. And so when we go out and we're, in the marketplace, when we're in at a bar, whatever, we show to others who we are, what we are. And if we do something bad, then that becomes, part of our background of who we are. And it also becomes part of the world. So our action becomes part of the world. And if that action is bad, if I hurt someone or something like that, we all know, not only is it immoral, what is morality? That's definitely a question I have. But even if we put that aside, we can... there's also the fact that everybody knows we did this wrong thing, and we're an immoral person. And the victim is absolutely right to be angry, maybe ask for punishment, maybe exile or just shunning of the wrongdoer. And that is perfectly appropriate, because if they have done something so heinous, it doesn't have to be heinous, but it could be, something really nasty and often immoral. If they do that, then they quote-unquote deserve punishment or some of these other forms of condemnation. However, it is possible for us to finally... trying to figure out what's going on with the game. Alright, I'm going to eat a bunch of these so that I don't have to think about that as much. And I'm going to get me some fire going. Can I make it? No. Oh, yeah, I can. Alright. So, lost my train of thought again. Sorry, folks. But we can be forgiven. All this anger is totally appropriate, but in the end, if the victim forgives, then it's not appropriate anymore. It's not required that that we treat the victim's desire to punish. They don't have that desire anymore, presumably. Maybe they do. That's a question that will come up, but it's still basically they give up that right. That's not, for me, that's not the definition of forgiveness, but it changes the world such that the wrongdoer is still a wrongdoer. They did something wrong, but their action, and to a certain extent, their image is forgiven. And so that's the big divide for me is that forgiveness is something that's called by Stephen Darwall. There's a heartfelt forgiveness, and then something he would call a deontic forgiveness, which is the more political forgiveness that I'm talking about. Which deontic means, it basically means, it's based on rights and responsibilities, but it cashes out as this is, oh boy, I need to get some stuff going. It's day 3 and I haven't done shit. it cashes out that everyone is equal because as long as you're rational, and so we should all treat each other the same. And that's going to be very different from a heartfelt, which is usually partial, a heartfelt feeling, whatever that is, whether it's heartfelt forgiveness, heartfelt anger, heartfelt remorse, heartfelt, all these heartfelt things. They kind of are opposed by Darwin to the deontic, to the more standard moral systems that we have. And I'm trying to show that, yes, I do believe there's a difference between something like heartfelt emotions, moral emotions, and more political or deontic. I mean, there's obviously a difference between politics and deontics, and I'm using politics in the way that Arendt would say it, but in any case, there is a difference, and I want to say that the source of all the deontic stuff, the political, the stuff that we share with others as our kind of equal right, is based in a more partial, more maybe local, or in Levinas's case, present form. And so, where am I going with this? So empathy makes it possible to talk about, I think, a version of this heartfelt stuff that isn't necessarily doesn't require that you're actually in front of the person, which for up to now a lot of what I had been thinking about does. But if I can use empathy in the same way that, say, I use perception to see things, to hear things, I can also see things that are far away, hear things that are far away, and I'm kind of confusing things, but empathy can go much further than that. The example of the protagonist or even the antagonist in a story is the best example. Is there anywhere else to go? Okay, maybe we got some rock down here. So I'm glad I did this, because I'm actually thinking maybe I can get somewhere with more than just, okay, we need presence. Maybe we don't need presence, but what does that mean? What does it mean? I mean, obviously, I don't have a lot of empathy for any specific person, 10,000 miles away in Bangladesh, like Peter Singer talks about in Famine, Affluence, and the other one, Morality. No, I don't remember what it is. If I can empathize with someone, and it has to be an individual, right? I don't know. Then I can forgive them. I can also be angry at them. I can also think very harshly of them. And all of these emotions are directed to them, with the possibility of being something that is empathetic. A lot of people aren't going to say that anger is empathetic, although if I suspect someone of being a jerk, then I'm going to have some idea, and this is maybe a difference with like Edith Stein's idea of empathy and many other folks. So, oh boy, here we go. Let's get rid of, I want that. I don't care about that. You can rot, my friend. Oh, great. Let's get some thunder going too. I mean lightning. So that I can get killed. That would be great. Okay, so can we create the science machine? Might as well. And using the science machine, whoop, can we, what else can we create? I forget, we need to, I want is the alchemy engine. And in order to do the alchemy engine, oh yeah, I need these things. So, hey. Okay, so let us make, do I need rope? I need rope for that? I probably do. Sorry, it's been a very long time. It's been like a year since I've played this. But it is one of the games that I have a fair amount of time in. I guess I could play Valheim. I have way more time in that, but okay. But I wasn't wanting to go there. I've been thinking about playing this game for a very long time, largely because I can transfer over to Don't Starve Together. But yeah, just I've been wanting to play this lately anyway. So, yeah. I have so much food, dude. Just eat it. Not that berries help that much, but okay. I'm gonna get this. So we need boards and cut stone. So oh, that's nice. Have they always done that? Why can't I make boards? Right, God. Boards. Oh, I don't have enough wood. And what about this switch? No. And I'm almost done. Damn it. Okay, can we make... No. Well, I only want to make one. Okay, good. My computer just did something to me. Don't know what, but doesn't seem to have killed anything. So I need to make a bunch of planks, just like I always do in every survival game ever. And then I need to make some stone, which I should be able to do too. I don't know. Because I have a ton of stone. So, why can't I make stone? Oh, I thought, oh, okay. But we can make some boards. And more boards. And more boards. And more boards. I'm not going to go there. Can drop those. Although hopefully I won't run into a tree monster or whatever they are. Okay, so we need more. Oh, let's equip that and just get some stone. Don't really need niter. Got some bees around, huh? Oh, I'm not talking, am I? Maybe that's a good thing. Okay, so... I might be kind of done. Let's see, what else could I say about all this business? Nah, I'll just play the game for a bit. Matter of fact, let's see what's over here. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, nothing. So, I'm hoping to make a connection between Kobo Abe's story. Should probably get back to that. Make a connection with Kobo Abe's story and the idea of empathy. So, how does the character, the main character, recognize himself in the mask that he puts on? So he's a chemical engineer or something along those lines, chemist, and he manages to create a mask that will cover up the scars that he's got. Because, I mean, the big problem he has is his wife has no interest in him. Everyone treats him like a pariah just because of his face. Totally well, at least that's what we think so far. Who knows? It could be that he's actually a big jerk, but for now, we want to assume, using our empathetic nature, that he is actually a good guy. There we go. So he starts out as a good person, and yet everyone treats him like a horrible person just because of the way he looks, which obviously brings to mind the plight of the disabled who are treated like shit just because they were born a little differently, which of course reaches to all the kind of interpersonal problems we have. But in any case, he makes this mask, and the mask makes it possible for him to let's make I can't make a real fire yet, can I? Maybe no. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'll get back to my topic in a second. You probably don't care. You probably, if you're here at all, you want to watch the game. You want me to shut up. But, so I need to make a fire. So you will excuse me. Oh, let's get over here. Yeah, there we go. Make a little fire, and then we can hit all of these during the night. Hopefully it won't rain this time. So, why are you doing that, damn it? Oh, maybe I lost connection. Yeah, I lost connection. Oh, come on, man. Hey. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with I think that's my mouse going crazy. So, he makes this mask to try to win his wife back, I guess. And he finds that the mask itself has interesting effects on him. So it's almost, it's a weird sort of anti-doppelganger. He's not himself. He's someone else because of this mask. And so what does that mean? I'm gonna be saying that a lot. But he looks at himself in the mirror, in his own actions, and through this he discovers who he is, which is kind of going along with this idea of empathy. He's empathizing with himself through his own actions. Even though, you know, he's got all the normal traits of his own understanding of his body, the way his body moves and all that kind of stuff. But he's finding that his actions, his behavior, are very different from what he's used to, and so he kind of has to discover himself using empathy, using a kind of self-understanding that is very different from what we normally think of as self-understanding. I need to think about this some more, so I think I'm going to finish up here for now and give this another try tomorrow. Maybe have a little more structure to it. I just wanted to give this a try, see what it all comes down to, and see if I won't. I'm sure there won't be any interest for a while, but something I would like to see somebody talking about philosophy. It'd be great to be able to share this, have a dialogue with someone, which is another thing I'd like to talk about. But hopefully my voice will be better the next time. And don't subscribe, don't do any of that shit. Thanks.